Hello, hello. It's your girl Judith, your mentor, your coach, and your friend who is so grateful to be able to connect back today for our week 4 in the series Activate the Superpower, the Super Coaching You. And in the series today, we're talking about coaching, how to get ready, how to have your recordings ready for ICF MCC credential. We are in week 4, and so far we've done a lot. Before diving into our MCC material and how you get to create and maintain contracting at MCC level, I want to start by expressing my gratitude. Last week we couldn't do it at 1 p.m. There was some technical issue, and later in the day the technical issue became something even more complex. If you've been following, you know that there's been a problem on the channel. You know that the channel was not available. I'm so happy, glad, and grateful to report that we are back now. You should be able to see this live directly from YouTube. And I want to stop and express my deep and sincere gratitude to YouTube support team for creators. As soon as my issue got to them, I could see them jumping in, communicating on what happened, communicating, asking clear questions, what they needed from me to investigate the issues, and keeping me updated at each step. Really, guys, at YouTube team support for creators, sincere thank you. I just feel like raving about the way they did it. It was so well done, clear communication, clear acts, and clear reporting till the end. So, and thank you also to all of you audience. Like, people reach out, those who have my number, they send messages. Some people reach out through Twitter, some reach out through LinkedIn, some reach out through email. To all of you guys, I really want to stop and say thank you. Your support meant a lot. It made a difference. And again, I discovered in this 1 week the difference that a community can do, how supporting each other, how partnering to make things work. It's essential. And I'm glad I'm talking about partnering, because in today's session, we'll talk a lot about partnering. Before delving into what partnering means in terms of ICF, I really wanted to stop and say, thank you guys. If not for your support, your emails, your ideas, the channel won't be back. So thank you for all the support, for everything. And together, let's bring out the super thing that you have. For all of you watching this that are coaches, definitely together, as you have other people in you, with you throughout the journey, it's sure that you will make it. So alone you can go fast, but together you can stand strong and make it till the end. It's what I learned in this week. Together you can achieve much more. I saw the difference community support can make. So I'm encouraging you, as you're going through your MCC journey, who is with you? Are there some people also going for their MCC this year? Connect with them. What can you guys build together? What can you establish? How can you keep each other informed of what is going on? These are shoulders you can lean on, and leaning on them, you can be sure that not only you will do the recording, you will submit the recording, and you will keep going till you get your ICF credential. I'm learning from what happened with the channel, but I can see it be of help even for you in this series. So, Judith, let's dive right in. This week we are talking about how to establish and maintain agreement at the MCC level. What does that even mean? So far in the journey, week 1, you set the intention, you reflected on why, what do you even want to be an MCC? You reflected on your intention, on your why, but also you set your intention. I feel like asking you, do you have a date for when you will submit that application? Do you have a mentor? You learn in week 1 that it takes mentoring, and you need to have at least 10 hours over 3-month period that you can demonstrate to ICF when you're applying for your MCC. Do you have a mentor? Go and get one. The ICF website is a great place. Your ICF chapter is a great place. Friend or people in the community. I thought about community. Who do you know who has been through the journey? Who do you know that is in the journey? These are all places where you can find a great mentor. Who is a great mentor? Someone whom you trust, with whom there's really great rapport, and who can give you good feedback, not there just to please you, to say what you want to hear. Can just be a masterful coach and ask you questions, bring you to a place where you feel supported, and someone you can lean on for the journey. One thing I like to say, look at your mentor. Are there someone you can lean on till you get to the finish line, or they're just here for the 3 months that your mentorship stays? Reflect and choose a mentor that works for you. If you have a mentor, have you started doing the recordings? Yeah, Judith, we want to hear about the agreement. We're getting there, and there's even a wonderful tool that I'm going to share today. But for us to get those 2 good recordings to submit, there needs to be action, guys. There needs to be recordings happening. So have you started doing the recordings? How is it going? What are you noticing in your recordings? Do you have one that you can submit to your mentor for feedback? If the answers are yes, just keep doing that. There's no doubt that as you continue with this momentum, in about 7 weeks, you'll have something to rejoice over. And I said 7 weeks because you guys know last week is dancing and celebration, counting the progress, what you were able to achieve. And we're already week 4. So you just have 7 weeks remaining. And as I like to say, it's 7 weeks to have 2 good recordings. So it's not 7 weeks to have 2 recordings ready, but 2 recordings that could be submitted for the ICF credential. And for them to be good, the criteria we're seeing in each session can be evaluated. So I think to ensure you have at least 2 good, you need to do more. That's why I'm taking all this time from the session to say, where are you with the recording? What do you need to get started? If you have started recording, what are you noticing? What are you working on? This is where the change will happen. If you're not doing the recording, we may not achieve our goals with you, but we want to achieve our goals with you. We would like that in the last call, you come and tell us, I started with this, like I didn't know a lot. But not only today I have learned, but I have 2, 3, 4 recordings that I'm reviewing with my mentor. That would be a huge win. It was worth it, completely worth it. So if there's anything that we can do to help you get started on this recording, get started in listening, noticing, evaluating your own recording, working with your mentor to see if it's good enough for ICF, let us know in the comment. As I say, most of the time, even if I'm not seeing the comments live, now I'm on Restream and I'm still learning to really figure out how Restream works. But if you leave the comment below, I will see it. If you can also send it by email. Most of you that are in coaching communities, I also belong to. So let's dive into our topic for today. Establishing and maintaining agreement at MCC level. What does that look like? What does that sound like? I think I'll quickly browse through the initial slides. At the end of today's session, you would know, I think I'll come back to this one. At the end of today's session, you will know, like, what does it mean creating agreement at level 3? And you get some tools on how to do that. And you will learn how you actually go and listen and observe that in your own recording. I really like this to be very practical. Theories, readings, a lot of books, a lot of things out there. But what is your reality? That's what matters to me. What are you noticing in your recording? Looking at your recording, can you say, you have the elements of the contract. Looking at your recording, can you say you have what it takes? Looking at your recording, can you say you have a clear topic, a clear outcome, and a way to measure progress? Looking at your recording, can anyone listening to it say, wow, I can clearly see the partnership, the equal, they are together co-creating this? These are the elements we will talk about. And I included like a quick comparison, because one question I'm getting a lot is, oh, Judith, I'm already PCC. I know what contracting means at PCC level. I really want to know fundamentally what it takes. What's the difference between PCC level and MCC level in terms of contracting? Yes, we will talk about. I have a little table that I will share here. You can screen capture it. So there's a lot, and the aim, really, my aim would be at the end, if you were in front of me, if you were in a class, that by the end you can say, oh wow, now I know these are the key elements I have. This is one thing I think I can improve to create better agreements. And this is a little plan that I'll put in place to grow, observe, and notice and improve that thing. So let's get rolling. Seems like I'm very talkative. It's because I'm happy to be able to do this live. I'm happy to see that we are live again. So what does it mean, contracting? Let's just forget about the agenda and things we've done so far. Even the recap, let's get it going, please. Slides, can you move forward? Yes. What does it mean to establish and maintain agreement? Well, on this slide, I simply wanted to talk a bit about what does it mean to establish and maintain the agreement. And I'm sure a lot of you watching, if you're a PCC, you know what it means creating agreement, but still do a little. It's all about clarifying, what does the client want? What do they want from the conversation, from the coaching? In general, you will notice that people come to these core competencies. Yeah, they are used to define how the coach is, not just in the conversation, but in coaching in general. So we are talking agreement generally. When you establish a coaching agreement with a new client, with an organization, with the sponsor, it's important that the contract be clear. What the outcome? How will we know it's successful? What can we use to measure progress? Just as those clear elements need to be established for the general agreement, also in the conversation, it's really essential that it is clear the outcome you're going for in that coaching conversation. This is so important, and that's the reason why there are some assessors, when they will listen to a call, when they've done like more than halfway and the agreement, the clear contract is not there, they're not going to listen to all your recording. This may sound alarming, I know, because the first time I heard it, I'm like, what? Yes, because you're going for MCC level. So you're not just a professional, but you have a level of mastery. And going for MCC means I already have the skill. See how I demonstrate the skill. You're not learning. You're not learning. It's like, I know what it means to be a masterful coach. And I think I am a masterful coach, and this is how I demonstrate that. Just like if you are a dancer, just like the engineer who prepares a thesis, or a PhD person, like not learning that maybe this theory is, no, you'll never pass with that. You demonstrate, I've understood, and this is how you showcase the skill, the ability, the experience. Going for your MCC means I can coach at that masterful level. See how I demonstrate ethics, the coaching mindset, and today how I create contract masterfully with easy flow, integration, adapting to the client. The more you work on something, the more you develop that mastery, the more you do cakes, the more you become good at making cakes, the more you, arrange your house, the more you do design, the more you grow the skills. And it's not for no reason that the number of hours before you can submit your MCC is kind of high. It takes years. So simply wanted to insist on the fact that your recording needs to showcase that mastery. And that's the reason, if you're struggling to create an agreement, if the agreement is not clear, or if after listening, no one can really tell this was the contract of the session. For a lot of people, they cannot pass you at MCC level. Clear agreement, clear on the outcome, clear on how to measure progress, and throughout demonstrating, checking on the progress. These are some elements of establishing the contract. Judith, we know this because at PCC, you also need to be able to get clear on what was the agreement, on how you're doing that. So I listened and I proposed something to show the difference, to establish the difference, like for this core competency at the 3 level. At the ACC, when you start the associate coach, in general, one way to recognize that this person is doing it at ACC level, they tend to, at that level, you tend to sort of want to follow a structure. There are various frameworks for coaching: GROW, CLEAR, TIGO. There are various frameworks. And the ACC coach, like listening, you can clearly see the different parts, because at the ACC level, like, you want to help, you want to demonstrate that you're following the rules. You have that preoccupation. Okay, it's growth. So what is now? And one can sense that the coach is really focused on keeping that structure. You can listen and know, okay, this is the structure. At PCC level, the coach, he partners with the client to create, but there's like no dynamic adaptation. You still feel that there's some kind of checklist that the coach is doing, and there's some kind of focus on what the solution. The client came for, confidence, creating cohesion with his team, growing his skills, growing his influence, no matter what topic the client brought. The PCC coach will tend to focus a lot on that challenge, the what, as I like to call it, what is going on. And then he'll try to partner with the client to get clear on how will they know they've made progress. At MCC level, one distinctive thing is that there's fluidity. There's no checklist here. The masterful coach, he kind of follows the client. But as he follows the client, he helps the client clarify what they want. The masterful coach gives the floor, gives the mic, gives the lead to the client. So it's more the client saying where they want to go. And if they talk about something else, the coach goes with them, but just helps the client get clear on, as we're going that other way, what link between what they expressed they wanted. He's adaptable if the client wants to change. There's some kind of natural flow to masterful coaching. So I'll provide even more detail. One key term I want you to think about when you say, okay, what's the key difference? Depth, focus on the person, easy flow, and adaptability. So there's no kind of a checklist. And maybe I'll give even some more detail, because I worked for many months with the mentality checklist. Knowing that, when they are evaluating the call, they want to see all the portion, clear topic, clear outcome, clear success measure, clear. So I had developed some kind of good worksheet with my engineering thinking, and I had put that in front of my desk. So when I'm coaching, okay, the topic is clear, okay. Have you noticed that I'm not looking you, I'm looking up there? And that's what happens. That's why Even if I will share a tool, I don't want the tool to be in front of you. Your eyes should be on the client. When Judith was looking at, okay, where are my outcome, measure of success? I'm looking, I'm not listening, I'm not hearing what the client, I'm not connected. Last week, we talked about connecting like your antenna, really being in phase with what the client is saying, how they're moving, energy, you're perceiving, emotions. For that, you need to really be connected to the client. And if you get that checklist with the various elements of the contract and you think checklist, you're thinking checklist, you're not here. As a consequence, presence will be down. Active listening, this chance you'll be down. And if you don't have the contract, if you don't have active listening, if you don't have presence, you'll not have the MCC. A question that often comes when I say this, and I myself, I ask it many times, it's like, oh my gosh, they say the evaluator needs to see all these components in my recording. And at the same time, they say I shouldn't focus on my checklist. So how do I do that? The simple answer is trust. Trust you, trust the client, trust the process. Yes, it's trust. Because when you trust that what needs to emerge in the conversation will emerge, there's peace. You don't try to do so much. You just trust that as you create the space, as you allow silence for the person to do the thinking, and you're just next to them, you're there. When you trust yourself that you have what it takes to achieve something, there's some sense of calm and peace. No matter what life will throw at you, no matter what happens in this assignment, you will tackle them. Just look at the situation where, okay, I trust that whatever, there's peace and calm. And in this place of peace and calm, you're focused. You're not like, okay, I trust that what needs to emerge will emerge. I trust that this client is resourceful. I trust that what needs to be brought will be talked. I trust. That's why next week I can't wait to be in the discussion around trust. It's a topic I really, really enjoy. For me, I found that has been the secret to drop. Kat, if you're watching this, thank you for sharing your example. Like, I was glad to see that a peer who was also in the journey with me, I was not the only person who prepared a kind of checklist. Okay, agreement, it takes this. This is an acronym I will use. And when you keep, it's a structured thing. Masterful coaching is flow. It's like a river. It's easy. There's like not overdoing it. No. And how you do that is trust. You know that everything will contribute to create something will emerge. Something will emerge from the client. They will make sense of it, will transform it into action. As you focus and create the space, it will happen. But there are still some key elements that the evaluator would like to see when they assess your recording. So I would move, is it here that I did the comparison? I think so, yes. This particle is for you, Amy. You ask, you say, I love your recording, Judy, but I would like to really see the difference. I'm already PCC. So I want to see the fundamental things that will differentiate from what I'm doing now to say, okay, I'm operating at MCC level. In terms of session goals, at PCC level already, they want to see that partnership in terms of establishing the goal and the measures of success. The MCC coach also does that, but he does this with more depth. Again, for you, MEK, you said example would help. So I'll take some time on this slide. Let's say a client comes to the session and they say, wow, okay, Judith, it's the beginning of the year. I really want to work on creating a more cohesive team. I think if our team was more cohesive, if my leadership team was more cohesive, the results of last year would have been better. The PCC coach may you start to run with it. Okay, so we're talking, it's all about cohesion here. How do you know that there's lack of cohesion? If there were cohesion, there was more cohesion, what would be different? Have you noticed that most of the questions this coach offered are all around the challenge, the problem? What would you see? What? The MCC. Okay. I think if there was more cohesion, he is looking and observing. He may notice body posture. He may notice something in the tone of the voice and just give it back. Notice that when you say cohesion and resolve, there was kind of a reduction in the voice. What was that? You give it to the client for them to make sense. It's not your job, PCC coach, to interpret. Oh, sounds like, which is something we say a lot at PCC level. We're trying to do the work. I said it last week, and I think I'll repeat it maybe till the end. In coaching, MCC coaching, one person has to do the processing, and that person is not the coach. It's a space for the client. You want to help bring out their brilliance. So they are the one to figure out things. Else you become kind of a solution provider for them, which is closer to what a consultant does. But as a coach, in your posture, we talked about posture last week. Your posture is to create space for them to figure out. They know their environment more than you do. They know what works better for them. So as you stop and stay quiet and just allow them to, hey, I noticed this in the tone of your voice. They may say something like, oh, really? It's okay. You move forward. That's also elements of mastery. You're not attached to what came up for you. You seem to have picked something, and the client is saying, oh, actually, there was nothing. Okay, great. So, what makes cohesion important for you? Ha ha ha. For you, you're bringing, he said cohesion, you could run with cohesion, which is the challenge, the desire, but you're trying to make a link between that topic and the person of the client, which is mastery, because MCC is mostly about the person, helping creating the pace for the person to understand their pattern, how they function, what matters to them, identity, their purpose. And from that core of who they are, figure out what they want, what makes it important, what it would look like, and what they need. And from there, choose what they want to do or be to show up aligned to those identity, those values. And when they are aligned at the core, it's easy for them to choose the next action, the what. So the masterful coach, in terms of, he will go at depth, key depth. I have some peers, and I even my mentor, a friend, she was like, importance, getting the person, the client, to think about the meaning of that topic, the meaning, that thing that they want to achieve. So asking questions about importance, what makes that important, the feeling, these are entry point to the person, to get the person to talk about them, to reflect on them, on what they want. And that's masterful coaching. So that's for the topic. And then the outcome, in terms of agenda at PCC level, well, there's partnership to, okay, what are we talking about? And sometimes the coach can be leading and you can still get it. But at MCC level, this is daring, Judith. It's my own personal point of view. Like, you can go and consult the core competency on ICF website. I'll be audacious to the point, I would say at MCC level, like, the coach follows the client. The coach follows the client, like, you give the mic to the client. Where do you want to go? How would you know we are there? What makes that destination important? What ways to get there? How will we know in 30 minutes, 45 minutes that we are there? Where are you now with respect to there? Where do we start? Have you noticed that all these questions give the power, give authority to the client to decide, I want to go to this place. It's important because at that place I will be, do, and have. I will know that we are there if I feel, if I have, if I clarifying those things is really essential, because when a good contract is done and the client knows, I will know that the shift, that what I want to achieve is realized by something concrete. You can tie and ask them where they are now, especially if it's something physical, if it's something with them. I'm feeling good. How is that anxiety now? How is that fear? How is that confidence now? How would we know? And they choose the elements, the behavior that will tell them that there's progress. When you become good at this, coaching is so sweet because they've established um, clearly the outcome. And throughout the session, as you discuss and some more insights come up, you can tie that, hey, what link between this insight? How are we with that anxiety, with that confidence? How are you feeling now? It's just natural, like a natural, simple, short question. And that's a trademark of mastery. Short, simple. It's like just a natural conversation. You don't overwork. How do you create that? Connect your antenna, listen, pray. Like you trust the process, you trust the client, and then full attention. And if there's anything that emerges, give it to the client. Let them tell you the meaning. Give it to the client. Let them choose how they want to move from there. Give it to the client. Let them gather all the nuggets, all the learning, and decide how they want to apply it. So I said I'll take a bold move. I feel like at MCC, you follow the client. Actually, you follow like I like to take the illustration of if a coaching session is like a client coming, Judith, I want to go to this destination. Can you be my companion? Can you be my partner on the road? Oh, yeah, sure. Where are we going? Actually, so what makes it important to go to this place? How would you know you've arrived at that place? What are some elements that will let us know that we've arrived there? Um, what do you think we need to? How do we go about to go to that destination? Plane, train, road, flight? What? So where do we start? All these questions are elements of the contract. I'll come back to the slide to bring another aspect that shows mastery is the measure of success. Sometimes with the PCC coach, well, we'll take like the beginning of the session to establish the agreement, and sometimes the coach will come back to check at the end of the session. The masterful coach is so connected to the client that when he sees some things emerging and insights coming up, he doesn't have to wait for the end of the session. There has been coaching sessions where at the beginning, even when the client is saying the wins from the last session, if it's a continuous coaching program, as the client is saying, oh, between our last call, there's this and this and this that happened. Oh, I learned this, I tried this. You could see that there's some new things that have emerged. Then the coach doesn't wait. Okay, what does that learning mean? How do you want to create a system around it? Will you be useful that do you notice permission, asking, but capitalizing on this thing that has come up? You don't have to wait the end of the session to ask, did you learn? Was it useful? Naturally, as things come in the conversation, the masterful coach takes it and helps the client make meaning, build the action, and choose where they want to go and assess how that insight helps them move forward with the goal. We said, for example, the person who said they want to grow, reduce the anxiety, they hope to be less anxious by the end of the conversation, and the conversation goes and they realize that, okay, maybe they're anxious because they're trying to perform, to show, to be perfect, and actually they cannot, because no one is perfect, and that they've done good enough jobs before because they have evidence that in previous cases or situations they've been able to perform. So when the coach notices that, oh, he's getting insight, can do, he has done, wow, seems like something's emerging. What is that? Give him the mic to go and gather and talk. As he talks, he reflects and amplifies the learning. And as he's learning, now you can make the link between this thing, how is it affecting the confidence level? We were at a 5. Where are we now? I think maybe a 6. Wow, what makes the difference to really establish the differential? And then what to bring to that 8 or 9? Have you seen how the questions are just easy based on what the client said and moving the conversation forward? That's masterful coaching. So continuously, you don't just establish the agreement at the beginning, at the end, but throughout the conversation, as the client gives you things that you can tie to that good conversation, to that contract, you can use it to move the conversation forward. Oh my God, more than 30 minutes have passed. And there are many more things to say. So this is the comparison. Maybe I'll disappear to allow you to screen capture the table. Key things, MCC level, depth. Really partnership, the client, the coaching, following the client, giving space, adaptability, fluid, flow, easy, simple. You don't overwork. You take and move forward. You take and give it back to the client. Continuous checking to see how you're making progress towards what the client said they wanted for the session. And another great trademark of masterful coaching is the partnership. Like, they really feel equal. And some days I feel like, oh, I'm just behind the client. Because when the partnership is not well established, sometimes you may feel like you need to rescue the conversation, you need to take the lead. One easy example is when in coaching session, maybe you ask a question and then the client says, I don't know. As coaches, we dread that answer. I don't know. And particularly when you are ACC coach, I don't know. It's like, oh my God, I'm not doing this well. How come? How do we? It's like we're stuck. And you can see the coach, ACC coach, like struggle. How do I take it from here? If they use worksheets and tools, if it's a topic that they have some insights into, they may offer and turn into consulting, like to save the situation. We cannot live in the I don't know. The MCC coach, the PCC coach, he may also offer too. May ask even the permission, may I offer something? And then they may share a framework or something. The MCC coach is not afraid of I don't know. No, I don't know. He will allow space. There is so much power in space, because something I also had to learn the hard way. There's so much power because the I don't know, as you stay there, even if they're not talking, they're still thinking. They're still thinking, and you still give them the floor. And they may think, maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, yes, when it happens for me, it's like, yeah, it's happening. Yeah, something came up. Maybe it's all about, maybe I could, silent. Let them go, because the silent is evoking some things. And even if they go, I don't know, silence, space. Really, I don't know. And then silence again. Don't take back the mic. Keep it on them. How do you want to take? What is coming up? How are you feeling? Give it on them. Sometimes PCC level, we want to take back. I did that so many times in my course. I think I've shared the example more than once, where in a 30 minutes call, when 20 minutes have passed and I start to get it, I don't know, like I'm already stressed. When I negotiated with the sponsor for this coaching program, like I said, they'll get value. And the way this conversation is going, we may not get nowhere. Hey, what are you hearing here? Is that trust? No, I'm not trusting the process. I'm not trusting the client. Maybe I trust myself because I feel like, oh, I need to rescue this. And it makes like I am above. I told you the equality, the power dynamics is like I'm above. So I better save this conversation before it goes. Nothing to save. Like it's not your job to save. You don't need to save the client. They are resourceful and capable. I don't know. I don't know. Okay? Silence. Let them choose how they want to move from there. Let them decide. Let them check. Is there some insight in what they're feeling in their body, in their emotions? In and for them to figure out, ask the question to get them to reflect. I don't know. What are you feeling now? Frustration. Because it's like there's this painful thing and I cannot move. Oh, it's like silence, let them talk. In what they say, something may come up. And then if they say, for example, they're frustrated because it's like they're not able to figure out a solution and it feels like they're not good enough. Not good enough? Yeah, they may say, yeah, and that's the thing. You need to coach them, create a space for them to reflect what makes them think they're not good enough. And when you do that, you're really creating a beautiful space for this human being to figure out the way he functions. So when I don't have answer, does that mean I'm not good enough? Is it true? Is this who I want to be? Imagine how the person gets out of that coaching session. You stood silent. You didn't try to save them. So the masterful coach stays in the moment, keeps mirroring, giving back to the client what he sees or hear or notices for the client to make sense out of it. So it will not be fair if this time ends without me sharing the little tool. I think it's a very good to help create these agreements where we have a clear goal, clear outcome, adaptability, client. These are key elements. Who owns the agenda? Who decides? Who decide on how to move forward? And the beautiful tool that I discovered and I want to share is not from me, it's Stoker's. I got this from Claire Pedrick. There are various frameworks out there. I say there are a lot of them. But what I love, I really enjoy about the Stokers that I choose to share is the fact that when you start the session like this, as she suggests, you give the mic, you're giving the mic to the client. What do you want? Where they decide. It's not like, okay, what do you want to talk about today? Something, there's this going on. Okay. Oh, I hear that something about the team, something about execution strategy. Okay, what do you think? It's not clear the outcome yet. How would you measure and the way to go about it? But when you follow like what she suggests, it's like you create a wonderful container where the client will take the mic and run, because he says the question will get the client to think about where they want to go, what makes it important for them to go, how will they know that they are there, and given the time frame that you have, 30, 45 minutes, an hour, what concrete outcome and what do they think are the steps to get there, which is the agenda of the session. Like you don't have to come up, okay, where do we go? The client tells you, I think we should, maybe if it's something around cohesion, well, maybe identify the key people I can partner with, maybe even checking what I am doing. Maybe these are like 3 topics. And as a coach, a masterful coach, you do a good job active listening to those things and give it back. I heard who you can partner with. I heard assessing your level of trust. I heard things you could do as a team, blah, blah, blah. Where do you want us to start with? Any link between them? It's still the client. So imagine the client say, I think maybe it takes A, B, C, and then he starts to talk with one topic at the end. You give it back to them, what progress? And then you ask, where do we go next? Have you noticed that it's the client leading this conversation? It's not you. We want to keep the lead with the client, because when as a coach you take back the lead, I've noticed that when I start to think, have you noticed what about zip? They stop thinking and they're just listening to you. We don't want to see that as masterful level. Masterful coach makes their client shine. Masterful coach makes the client shine. And I've noticed that this framework from Claire does that so beautifully, because it's a S. What's the subject? The subject for the session. And the second one is so good. Sometimes, a lot of times, clients will come with, I want to do this. It's kind of a big general thing. I've been talking about cohesion. But when you bring down, for the 45 minutes we have together, what about cohesion do you want us to focus on? They understand that we cannot do all the history of cohesion in an hour. And it helps them reflect clearly, what do I want out of this 30, 45 minutes in terms of cohesion? What concrete outcome? What will be different? What do I want to be different in 30 minutes? And as they decide, okay, I want to maybe have a strategy. I want to maybe get clear on what I'm doing now on my plan, or I want to be less anxious. It's excellent. How would you know you're less anxious at the end of the coaching session? Now you're tying exactly the outcome to the present situation. And energies, like what makes it important, what makes that goal important now. I also love a lot the thing about the role, because I've noticed that that question will make the client themselves to craft their agenda, what they think is necessary. And then how do we start? Where all these questions, they give the microphone to the client. And I find it beautiful, because when you say, where do we start? Well, I think maybe let's start with this topic, one of the subtopic that they've identified in the role. How do you think we should go about doing this? They start to talk about something. You let them talk, allow them. And I heard these key words. I noticed this on your behavior. There's this feeling. What is going on? As you dig deeper and something starts to emerge. Damn, beautiful. What meaning are you giving to that? What would that change for you? Tying it back to them. If you were distrustful person, what would be different in the cohesion of the team, or with your collaboration with different teams? There will be this, there will be that. Silence. Don't be eager to talk. Sometimes we just want to ask more questions. When the clients start to think and things emerging, the best thing you can offer them, silence and space. Because as it emerged, they're processing, they are learning at the same time. Whoa. And the more you're silent, the more they can do that. And when they come up with something like, oh, wow, it's like something has happened. Where else? Another good question. Where you're not eager to move forward. Let's take and enjoy this beautiful nugget you found. What does that mean? If you implemented this, what impact on your life, on the bigger life, on the team, on the system? Now you make that insight, you expand, and what do they want to do? Any concrete action? That's when you land on the what, which is the action item, the strategy, the whatever that in general they come for. Well, okay. And when you've crystallized that learning, you've crystallized that beautiful insight, you give them back the mic. Where do we take it from here? You can check. I said, you continuously check on the progress. With the insight, I could be more trusting. This is how it impact me, the team, and other, the organization, my family, blah, blah, blah. Great. So how is that anxiety now? You can check the thing that you specify as outcome. Where is that now? And they will say something. Well, maybe progress. Excellent. And what accounts for the difference in the anxiety? I think this question helped them really gather what is happening here. Oh, I noticed that I can do this, or I have done this. It stays. And they are the one realizing it. It's not you telling them, you're brilliant, I see this. When they see it by themselves, it's like their eyes are shining. They are realizing they are capable, they have skills, they have done it before. And they come out of such a conversation stronger, more capable. This is the beautiful gift that you give your client when you coach at that masterful level. I'm noticing I have like 10 minutes to go and I still have more slides. So I got the stalkers from Claire Pedrick. I'll say something about her. Yes, she's type ask Google 3D coaching Claire Pedrick. She has a lot of good resources. And by the way, this is an ICF assessor. So she assesses this MCC course. Maybe your call will fall in her hands. And this is her system. So if you can go on her website, there's a lot of good resources. I guarantee you will learn something, you will grow. There's so much. And she talks about the learning, about the transformation happening in you as a coach. 3D coaching, ask Google, or I think she also even has a YouTube channel and a podcast. Go and look. She has great resources. Not sure though if she offers a level 3 training, but she has a lot of resources to help you prepare for your recording. She helped me with mine. She gave me feedback. After that initial one that I didn't pass, she gave me very, 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 I love what I learned with Claire. That's why I'm sharing. So go and check. You may find some things that can help you on your own journey. So stalkers, that's a system. I'll share a link below with kind of a word version that you can use. Please don't do as I did, printing the resource I'm going to put below the video and putting it in front. Don't do that. I did that, but my mentor could still pick that in my recording. Judith, you're thinking like, didn't you see this? Didn't you notice this? No, was thinking, where am I in my stalker worksheet? Here, not here. Here, not here. So the stalker worksheet I'm going to share, you can use it when you're practicing. You can use it when you are listening to your recording. It's a tool that can help you outside the conversation that you want to record for ICF or even the coaching session. It's for learning purposes. Like, do I have a clear topic? Do I have a clear outcome? How am I giving the lead to the client? Who is leading here? That's the goal of that worksheet, not for you to put in front and to use it, because as long as your eyes are on the worksheet, you're not here with the client. You're missing some body posture. You're missing what is going on with their energy level. You're missing the shift happening on her face. You're missing a lot because you're looking at your worksheet. I'll still share the worksheet. I think it'll be useful. And as I'm noticing that time is almost gone, please, I feel like insisting on the how are you? I'll give you the questions to do the reflection on. Maybe I'll remove the slides and just keep talking to you directly. Where are you with the recording? If you have couple recordings there, I'll invite you to listen to the recordings. And is there a clear outcome? Is there a clear topic? Do you check out on the progress with the agreement regularly? Are you doing this in a flawless? Because if it's kind of a checklist, the assessor will pick that. It's easy flow. It's like it's a natural question to come. It's natural. Okay, I feel so. What else? It flows naturally. It's not like the client is talking about I don't know, the team has done A, B, C, and then, okay, what progress? One sign of mastery is easy flow, it's natural flow. And for that to happen, you don't think about the checklist. You don't think about the key element. You stay here with the client. If there's anything that is not clear, you don't hesitate to to bring it back to the client. You said you want this, I'm hearing this. If a client says the goal of the session is cohesion, but they keep talking about trust, a masterful coach will not, hey, he'll give it back just like that. You said this, and I'm hearing this. What is going on here? Let them decide. I'm not sure. Would you want to change to focus more on the trust? You're giving permission. You're playing by what you're hearing, but they are leading because they decide. You're not interpreting for them. Listen to your recording. Clear topic, outcome, measures of success, and regular checking by you. That's great. You even be perfect if clear goal, outcome, a goal outcome attached to the person, not just the solution. What do I mean by that? When you know, okay, the goal is to a good agreement, it means goal with a measure of success, clear outcome, and I need to check back while clear goal strategy to build up my direct report, measure of success. Well, having a strategy couple 1, 2, 3 things. And how will you measure? Well, if at the end of the day on a sheet of paper I have 2, 3, well, the person had a strategy, has some key things to work on, but there's not much about the person. Masterful level of coaching is the person. Strategy to develop my direct report. It will be a great call if at the end I have 2, 3 things to excellent. Strategy, what's the meaning for you? Well, strategy, that's the coaching because it gets them to think. What makes the strategy important now? Well, it's important. Maybe they got a feedback that they were not great people developer. Maybe they feel kind of not great at strategy. I've heard that in a lot of coaching sessions. And if they think they are not great at that, have you noticed that you're hitting the person, how they see themselves? This is what we want to see more in masterful level coaching. Getting them to talk about who they are, how it aligns with their identity, with who they want to be, getting them to notice the patterns. So we started this with strategy, but if it brings down to lack of confidence, maybe I'm not good. If I was good, what would be different? And how will it impact their life? Do their vision, their identity defined by their ability to be strategic? Yeah, no, let them figure out. And at the end, maybe they'll notice that, well, in fact, their identity is not defined by strategy, but they want to be good at strategy because they want to develop their direct, they want to be a leader, people leader, they want to have that reputation. These are a lot of things that that emerge in the conversation. My identity is not defined by great strategy. Still, I'm someone, it matters to me to develop people. These are key things about themselves that they learn by coming to that coaching session and you asking questions that got them to reflect on who they are, on their identity, and who they want to be. So from this place of I am a people developer, I want to have the reputation, the legacy of a people developer. What is one thing you could do? Now you can bring it back to the what. I don't know if you notice the shift, but the key thing here is create that agreement, what they want, find a way to tie to who they are as humans, and great entry point for that. Simple question: what makes it important? What value? What meaning, what emotions, what energy. Those things will get them to reflect, and you tie back to who they are, who they want to be, and you open the door to talk about at the core what they want. Not just the strategic, the what, the problem, the challenge, but who they are, and from who they are, what they want to do about the situation. Hope it makes sense. I feel like I wanted to clarify and I talk more than I should. So it's time to say bye and to go. Key thing, listen to your recording. What do you see? Client-led, clear agreement on outcome, measure, and constant checking. Depending on what you see, what can you do to develop that? That will be my question for you. I'll put it in the chat. Also, after this live, I'll put the links to Claire Pedrick, how to reach her. Also, the tool, the Stoker tool I talked about, not for your desk to learn before the conversation. And if there's anything, question, comment, remark to help you understand this, to help practice this, to help embody this in your conversation, feel free to reach out. We really, really, really want you to go for this masterful certification, because what I have noticed again and again, people go for the certification, but they get transformed. They go for the credential, and they get transformed in the process. Because when the recordings start to show you who you are in that conversation, you notice there might be things to change. So we want you to show up as that very powerful, masterful coach you can be, that has greater impact in each conversation, greater impact for his clients, and greater impact in the world. It was a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you next week, same time in English. We'll be talking about trust and safety, a topic I can't wait to discuss with you. And it will be 10 EST time in French. Until next time, take care and all the best for the rest of the week.